Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Grow, Glow, and Ho Heal Over Everything podcast. Friend, I'm Talitha, this is Nakia, and we are here. Today is just one of them days, okay? This is the crash out episode because it has been a week.
It has been a week. I'm excited for this episode.
So first of all, for those of you who may not know what a crash out is, check out this short video.
Good morning. On behalf of Americans with a little bit of common sense, we need help. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Meteor Man, hell, Beanie Man at this point. Somebody help us. Please, fall from the sky, do something, get together, do something, help us.
Who did you call on, friend, when you saw that? Who'd you say? Little Man.
Little Man. Where Marlon Wayne is at? We need Little Man.
Ooh, it's just one of them days, y'all. So we are here to talk about the crash out of 2025. You see my hair. I look electrocuted. This is all I could give y'all today. It's just,
friend,
it's
I got a whole unit, a U part on, and I'm like, I can't do it. I need a hat. Okay, even the U part ain't enough for today.
We are on the verge. We are on the verge. So let's just get into it. I mean, what does crashing out mean to you, friend? And have you experienced it firsthand?
So today, I think is going to be the first day. I keep doing this.
Okay.
Today is going to be the first day where YouTube is going to say, damn, they cussing their podcast. Okay, maybe it shouldn't be kid friendly. Because, girl, Monday, I was on live. Like, F you, mother. You know what I'm saying? You get what you voted for. You know, I was going up. And if you said anything that was an opposite of agreement of the consensus in the room, it wasn't about Kamala. It wasn't about Democrats. It was about humanity. Oh, my God. I have to be careful because I need the Lord not to, Uno reverse it on me.
And make you draw for, bitch.
You know what I mean? So I was like, may you have the day the Lord created for you.
Instead of the day you voted for. Listen, yeah. Listen, it's not just about the political shit. I couldn't think of anything else. I was trying. It's not just about it's literally everything right now.
Yes.
Keeps me on the verge every day. It's every day. So yeah, it's literally everything nowadays has me ready to just crash out. And crashing out could be like the brother on the clip, just like call somebody, send help, SOS. Crashing out, you on live, cussing, fussing, going off on people, crying, spazzing out. A crash out is a crash. It's literally what it says, a crash out.
Yes.
You just cannot do. Solomon, have you crashed out? Now that we're explaining it, have you crashed out?
I mean, I imagine I have at some point.
See? It's just. And the time right now,
oh my God,
it just only equates to crashing out.
Crash out. So when I saw that, I just started texting everybody that link because some days I have rage. And the rage I feel like is dangerous because I got out of my car a couple weeks ago. I think I shared it with you.
You did?
I got out of my car to walk up to a woman's window to tell her, move your ass up the God. I went off. Right? Because she stopped in the middle of the street to talk to somebody who's also stopped in the middle of the street, stopping us from moving our cars forward.
Oh,
and
I hate those people.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
And I'm right there at home. So you can imagine I'm commuting, I'm at home, and you do this in front of where I got to turn. And I'm just blowing, she wouldn't move. So finally I was like, I'm out, which is dangerous because I could be a danger because I blacked out, but I also could be in danger. Right. Because I don't know what's behind the wheel of that.
What's behind door number
Okay, and I'm in Long Beach because, you gotta be careful. So at the end of the day, I some days I'm enraged, some days I'm lighthearted with it all. And when I saw that, I just was like, this is where I am. Where are superheroes? We're Captain America.
Right. And I was legit about to ask you to share a time when you crashed out. So that's a good one. Another way to crash out is not just cussing and fussing folks out. I crashed out one time in AT&T with Andrew, but it was a full-on tear fest. Oh. So my phone accidentally reset itself. And I lost contacts, all my notes with my passwords, and I just Like, I mean, it was I was inconsolable, whatever the word is. That was me.
Mm.
And Andrew is already not a good person when you're crying. He's one of those awkward pat type people. So I'm sobbing, my notes, my contact, and he's pat, and quit patting me. Like, it was a whole thing. And this was during COVID. So he had on a mask and he's like, this bitch, somebody come get her. He's like, oh, she's with me. Like, so yeah, baby, crash out can happen at any time. But when you add on all these other factors happening in politics, in the workplace, in your home life, whatever, like, it's inevitable.
We're being pushed. And thank God for therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being pushed in a direction I'm unfamiliar with. Yeah, someone said when I was on my live going off, I was like, we've never been here before. Well, we've been here before, our ancestors. I go, no, our ancestors experienced their version of whatever this is. I've never experienced what they've experienced. And this isn't the same thing. We didn't have a democracy to ruin for them, or they weren't going through a ruins. They literally created spaces for us to have a democracy. So I am crashing out in this current modern time, in this current modern era. And I don't know what slavery looks like, but what I do know is what they're taking away, what that looks like. And that alone is scary. Because even if I'm not in a federal government, I see how that impacts, and it ultimately will impact us directly.
Right. I say all the time, like, the crash out that our ancestors, and we don't even have to go back to the 1800s, right? The crash out that our ancestors, even in the 50s and 60s, experienced with the Montgomery bus boycott is still not the same as what we're experiencing in 2025. And one isn't greater or worse than, because I dare not speak on their experience because I wasn't there, right? So for them, that probably was the worst. Whereas for us, this is the worst, right? We got through both of the Bushes, Saddam Hussein, OJ killing that lady. Like, we got through all of that.
We're going to talk about that because I don't think he did it.
Allegedly.
No, I don't think he did it. Like, he wasn't, but he definitely did have something to do with it. But that's just me.
At this point, with this orange orangutan in office, Black people ain't do nothing to nobody.
And rest in peace, Orenthal.
Yes. I forget he just passed.
I know, him gone. But it's a different type of crash out. So however they may have crashed out back then, definitely they not getting out knocking on people's windows and crying in AT&T. Right? So, like, what are some warning signs? Maybe some physical warning signs that you experience where you're like, okay, I'm on the verge of a crash out. What are there any? Maybe that's the question too.
Yeah, I get hot on the inside. I get hot. Yes. And I'm great. I'm so much better now because I recognize when I'm getting hot, this space or whatever's happening is not good. And then sometimes I'll recognize and be like, man, fuck that shit. I said what I said, or whatever that's going to turn into. Like, yes, the other day I crashed out on someone about a conversation that was unnecessary to have. Mm-hmm. But you want to have it? Okay. Since you conjured me. What? Right. Okay. Right. You know? And so we had to have this conversation. But now I realized I'm crashing out. I'm screaming. I'm yelling. Even I was like, hang up the phone.
Yeah. Mine definitely is the tears. Mm-hmm. People think when I cry, I'm sad. Mm. And it's like, no, these are those hot Leo, I'm about to roar and light you up tears, but I really don't want to. So I'm trying to hold them in. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like when you're trying to hold in a sneeze and your whole face and body starts. Yeah, that's me. So I think my warning signs are like tears and, blood boiling. I could feel I'm hot. I could feel my blood boiling. And I usually will probably start perspiring a little bit. Like, I'll start feeling sweat beads in my scalp.
Ooh, child. Yeah. You sweating.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting warm. It's getting hot in here. I know. We can't even say the rest because...
Yeah. I mean, I was ready to join you. Then I thought, rotten apple bottoms.
I know. But see, he still gave us, that's a whole other topic because I do separate sometimes the art from the artist. Because I will still rock a Kel's song in a minute. And we all know he's Chester the Molester. But he gave us some hits. Here we go. She's giving pardons. Orange orangutan pardons is being passed out over here at GGH. Okay?
We don't do collection plates no more.
Only
We
for
do
black
orange
people.
orangutan parties.
Only for the brothers and the sisters.
I to add to that, I don't know. Well, no, I don't know. I feel weird when I hear a Kale song.
Do you?
I do, because I feel like at this point you're not singing to me, you're singing to my little child. And I can't get that out of my head. But Rotten Apple Bottoms, I'm just never going to give him a pass anymore.
Well, we talked about it earlier how there's some songs we literally had no business singing anyway.
That part.
So it doesn't matter if it was him or anybody else. It's some songs we had no business even singing. Okay, so looking back, do you think that some of your crash outs were avoidable, or did you need that moment to release?
Because this is Grow, Glow, and Ho, heal over everything. I can honestly say now with my whole double D's.
Just out.
That they were all avoidable because I'm in control of my emotions. And those times that I worked, it was because I justified my actions, but I still have to be responsible that I had another choice.
That is definitely a whole answer. A heal over everything answer. That's everything. I don't know if they were all avoidable. I feel like some of the people I crashed out on deserve just that. I feel like you played in my face. You tried it. And I had to set a boundary and you crossed it. And so you needed to reap those consequences. Because there's consequences for every action. There's an equal or opposite reaction.
Exactly. You conjured me.
We dropping Sir Isaac Newton up in here now. So, it's like the law of physics. So, yeah, I don't know. So we talked about how your body reacts to stress. What about how your emotions? Do you feel any, or are you thinking anything in your head, or is it literally just everything's out the window?
Back then, it's so funny. So I'm going to kind of divert.
Okay.
Because I'm currently in my interrelationships as family and, males. I'm trying to figure out the best way to answer this. For me, I think that, what was the question? Because now I'm like overthinking.
And menopause is setting this old bitch and went to another place.
It happens all the time. I'd be like,
bitch.
I got something to say. What's the question?
The emotions.
There you go. See, my emotional ass forgot that.
She's crashing out, y'all. She's crashing out right in front of your face.
Oh my gosh. The emotions are fleeting. And I try to remind myself that, especially because I watched episode 12.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. And when you said that, and it was so poignant the way you put it and where you placed it.
Mm-hmm.
Feelings are fleeting. However, like you said, they are very valid and true to you, right? I don't have to explain something if it makes me feel this way. I choose to explain in hopes that you understand so you don't cross that line, or at least understand that this is my boundary and it's not a welcome space for you to participate in. But me diverting is going back to family and friends and people, I don't want to get too personal because they be like, you talking about me?
Then they gonna be crashing out.
Exactly. But our emotions, I come from a family really heavily on both sides of my family, but heavily on my mom's side. We are heavy of the women, like women heavy in our family. And thank God we still got the head, which is my grandmother, still here, right? Because of that, we're protective of one another in our family. But we also can blur the lines of the boundary. And I guess I am going to get personal. So if they watch this episode, listen, this is part of the hoeing phase. I join you to have this conversation. But we can be mean to one another in our family because we're a group of women who don't have boundaries, or at least now trying to teach one another our boundaries.
Right.
And I wasn't there, so I can't really speak heavy on it, but I'm aware that my two aunts or sisters got into their verbal disagreement. And it bothers me now, which I'm become an aunt again after I leave here, because one of my aunts is going through her transition space where she's getting ready to start a healing journey, because you can just see it. Mm-hmm. And it's when you know it, it's beautiful. Right? You're like, okay, I know what I can do for you. Here, let me bring you this, or let me send you this, or whenever you're ready, girl, I got you. What do you need? Right? I'm not going to invade you. I'm just going to be the one where you feel like I'm safe enough to have that space with. And then another one of mine, I don't think that she truly has transitioned into that yet. She's a wonderful woman. Like, I absolutely love her, and I get a lot of my ways from her. But it's also disheartening to not be able to celebrate her in the way she deserves, because she still resides in a lot of ways in that bad, toxic behavior that we gave permission to as a group of women in our family. And because we are protective of one another, we don't tell each other without it being full of emotions how they're acting. So going back to your question, which thank God for therapy, going back to your question, I am able now to understand that how I was reacting back then was because of the environment that was cultivated around me and that I cultivated through. Whereas now, as an older woman and a woman who's experienced healing and therapy, I'm able to look and say, it was my emotions that were speaking, and now my logic's in the room. So I think that answers.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And it goes back to what we've shared here before.
Mhm.
Your environment does influence your behaviors. It influences your mindset, your actions, because if you're sitting in toxicity, how can anything positive come out of your mouth, go in your brain, go through your ears? Like, you're literally just sitting in negativity.
Yeah.
So it goes, to previous conversations we've had. So first of all, kudos to Auntie for being in her healing transition,
Yeah.
right? And we just gonna keep praying for the other one
Yes.
that she sees herself somewhere in the healing space and starts her own journey.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think that's a good segue to like our next segment of our crash out, right? Like the mental and emotional triggers and impact that it will have on you. And not just you specifically, right? So this could be a overall general question. What emotions tend to push people to their breaking points, if anything? Like sadness, frustration, anger? Is it just irritation? Or do some people really just crash out just because they got
Who you talking to?
Just because I got a
Sorry,
screw
friends.
loose. Gang banging on bacon.
Right,
That's
on
Cat Williams
bacon.
said.
Okay. You're walking on what?
Right. Do you
Okay.
think that there's always some type of emotional trigger? Or can you just crash out because it's Monday and you're on live?
I think both can exist. Yeah. I would say where I am is it depends on the button that you push and who you are. Because if it's something that you typically do and it's a button that you push, I've acknowledged it enough to say I don't like it, or now I need to acknowledge it. And then there's action that comes after the fact, like, okay, I can't deal with you anymore because you don't respect. Or if it's something new and it bothers me, then I'm like, okay, let me let you know. And then also opposite, watching someone. I was speaking to someone, and I won't disclose the person because, again, the person probably will watch. We were speaking, and this person just crashed out on me. And I was like, oh, the ghetto. You mad at me. But
you told me.
You told me. But at the same time, I didn't get mad. I didn't hold it against this person because what I know this person is desperate. This person is desperate for whatever their reasons are. And I'm a part of this person not being in desperation because of the value that I bring,
Right.
that I refuse to bring anymore. So it wasn't a personal thing, but it was a desperate crash.
So like they were crashing out, and their crash out had the potential to make you crash out.
Yes.
But you realized you're going to crash out by yourself, and I'm not RSVPing to that party.
Yes. I crash out over the administration right now. I ain't crash out over this.
Right.
So.
Mine will usually come from being overstimulated or like stressed out. If it's already too much noise going on and it's, And then, like you said, with what's happening in the world and politics, I had to limit news time. I had to limit social media time because why is this funky, fat LaFon's orange orangutan everywhere I scroll? And I'm like, I don't even subscribe to anything that really likes you.
No.
But he's everywhere. So yeah, I notice when I'm like overly stimulated, if I'm sleepy and need to rest, and you keep asking me question after question when I have already given you a 10-page dissertation
Right.
and broke it all down, and you still have questions?
So I wanted to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are like the emotional those are the emotions, I would say, that kind of, trigger. Solomon, when you think back to times when you have lost it, was there anything that like triggered it, or was it really just you?
For me, it's hard to say because I haven't really like gone out like just totally like triggered, because I have this sort of logical feeling of what would be the point. Like, so for me, and it usually starts with sadness and frustration and the inability to impact my situation, right? That's usually how it starts. And then from there, you just say, okay, I'm going to have this period where I'm just going to feel sorry for myself for a while. And it might be a day, it might be an afternoon, it might be a couple days. And then after that, I just got to pick myself up and keep moving because I got too many people dependent on me. So that's usually the way it works for me.
That's why we are here at the podcast place, baby, because Solomon has emotional intelligence, which a lot of you, me included, are missing.
Oh, no, you grandma friend.
Listen, emotional intelligence is something that everyone does not have. And for Solomon to even say, like, what would be the point of me?
Right.
Like, that's because he recognizes, what does crashing out do?
Yeah.
I mean, I could be in the house throwing stuff, breaking stuff. Does it help anything? No, it makes me feel better in the moment.
Yeah.
But now I got a house full of broken shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's like, if we did think ahead, like, will this solve anything?
Yeah.
Thank God for therapy, like you said.
Thank God for therapy. I remember it was years ago, and I was already maybe 4 to 6 years in with the ex, right? And we were already going through our we ain't together stage. He don't really care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, good. You think that, so I can go do this.
Right.
And I'm going to come back and be like, babe, but what happened? Are we together? That.
Right.
Right. And I remember just because I grew up on the Cosby Show and, where Florida Evans would throw something and be like, damn, damn. Girl, I had this Pyrex pen, right? And all I remember in slow-mo just throwing it down saying, damn. And that was my version of a crash out. But what it did, besides force me to clean up, was I felt that energy just go with it. So sometimes crashing out could be as simple as throwing something, breaking something, or cutting someone.
Yeah. Oh, my.
I mean,
are we here?
I did some tires now.
I'm like, are we here confessing thing? Is this confession session?
I was helping for you. You slashed your tires? You want help, girl? I've helped.
Hey, that's good, because I was going to ask, how do external pressures, work, relationships, society, contribute to people crashing out?
Oof.
Or should we be emotionally intelligent enough to say, I'm not going to let your behaviors affect me?
Circumstances. I mean, a lot of times I have that same approach as Solomon. I can literally go, what is this going to do? So like when someone weaponizes or attempts to weaponize using the N word, for
the
me,
hard ER.
Yeah, the hard ER, right?
Be ye clear.
BE.
Be ye clear.
Okay.
She said the hard ER.
The hard ER. I find myself laughing. Like, you want me to react to a word that is negative based on how you want me to see it, but we use it daily in other ways, in ways of affirmation sometimes. I refuse to give you that. So you can hold that. But at the same time, if I see someone with that same demeanor affecting someone who's helpless, like an older person or a child, then I'll show up for them because they're defenseless and I got time, if I choose to have time.
Right.
So the crash out for me and how I just deem, if you're just kind of like in your don't mess with me era, is depends on where we are and what happens and how you say it and what we do and just in general, because it can be a thing.
It can be a thing, because people will push you to that point.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a self-awareness thing to note, like you said. You're just trying to poke at me so that I react, and I'm going to give you something different to make you crash out.
Period.
Because sometimes me not reacting will cause you to crash out on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. How do you mentally pick yourself up after a crash out? Like
That's a
for
good
me, I have to listen to music.
Yeah.
It has to be 90s R&B
question. Yes.
for me. Or because even sometimes Beyonce will take you there because I think of her with that lemonade and that
Ring
bat,
the alarm. I've been
Listen.
good, right?
with
Sorry.
that bat and hold up and ring the alarm. So sometimes I have to put Queen B on mute
Yeah.
because
Yes.
she'll make you crash out too.
Girl.
But that good 90s R&B will automatically, bring me down. Edibles are very helpful as well.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with a little THC.
Anyone want to sponsor? We can try your edibles.
Listen, we're here for it, right?
Right.
That helps me. Sometimes wine, but again, alcohol has, even if it is just Stella, which is just juice, but that little 5% that Stella got might amp me back up.
Right.
Like, I said what I said. I need to say it again.
Give me a shot of Stella. What? A shot?
Right. And then sometimes how I'm able to mentally is allow myself to just go through it, to cry, to fall out, to slide down the wall like I know Drake was doing on the night of Super Bowl, and just go through it.
Like what?
Sometimes that helps. What about you?
Say
Fran?
Drake. Sorry. That will live rent free in my head forever.
All we missing is our flare dreams.
Facts. Look, now we're looking at
I know. We don't have no flare dreams on.
I'm back.
Yeah. But like, how do you pick yourself back up from a crash out?
A lot of things that you said I'm pretty similar
Mhm.
to. But one of the things I'm very intentional about now is I don't listen to R&B music.
Okay.
Yeah, because for me, words have meaning,
Mhm.
and meanings are designed for you to have an action in some
Mhm.
way or a reaction in some way. And for me, R&B is love, it's culture, it's everything. And my ex and I, he's pretty well versed in R&B. Like his catalog is ridiculous. So we get along in such a really beautiful way.
Gotcha.
Even just a little insight, right? Because it wasn't all bad.
Mhm.
In the middle of the night, it could be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We're playing music, playing Crown, 5 Crowns or
Mhm.
whatever, drinking Crown,
All the above.
All the above. And sometimes I wear my crown, my
Right.
tiara.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But we would just get up and dance. You remember how Claire and Cliff would
Yeah.
dance and Huxtables? Like that was our thing. So music is a love for me. And it reminds me of the expression of love that I had in that relationship. To where when I am needing to release, remove, or reflect, I don't listen to R&B because I don't want to hear someone sing about broken love, or I should have tried more, or you didn't give a shit about me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel that
Gotcha.
emotion. I just want to remove myself of it, and then I'll play my high vibrational affirmation playlist that is not assigned to any person, place, or thing. It's just a energy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. You said reflect, remove, or release.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Come on, y'all. We healing over here. We healing. Why do you think it seems easy, but why do you think some people can stay so calm under pressure while others need to like crash out? Do you think it's something like mentally, like, am I really missing a screw because I don't know how to stay calm? Or is it just, that's just how God made me?
Whatever the situation could be sensitive for the person that crashed out. Because there may be something that you don't crash out or someone doesn't crash out over immediately because you thought that through.
Right.
Whereas that's like my ticker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know for me, it's easier for me to stay calm in situations. I'm rarely the one that's amped up and ready to go. Like I remember years ago, my friend and I, my bestie, Portia, and I we used to go to the comedy club on 3rd Street in West LA.
Yeah.
And she, she always gonna walk like ain't nobody behind me or in front of me, move out the way, right? That's her thing. And she was just walking and she accidentally stepped on this girl's foot. And, these were women of color. And of course, old girl called herself getting an attitude, but my friend had already kept walking in the door like, we don't wait in line, get out the way.
Right.
But what the girl didn't know was I was behind my friend walking comfortably, slow, and her friend was talking shit. And before I knew it, I just tapped her on the shoulder. I go, bitch, she ain't alone.
Oh.
She said what she said. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to be the rah-rah friend because I don't like to fight. Right. But if I have to conjure up that energy, it's hard to put me
She's
back.
Always there.
Exactly. So that. So for me, I look at
Yeah.
situations where I can control it, so I don't have to do it. But if I have to do it, then you called me. I don't just do
See,
it.
and I'm the table flipping friend. So again, my therapist is earning every dollar of our sessions because I can go there like fast.
Mhm.
Fast. And I, and part of healing is recognizing your toxic traits. And so I understand I have a very short fuse,
Mhm.
very short. And I want to say, I believe it's because I was tried so much when I was
I
younger.
was going to ask you that.
Yeah. Like I was tried so much. I'm small. I was always the shorter. I mean, on my line, I'm the tray of the line
Oh, wow.
of 19 ladies. So I was always small in stature. They all, I was always talkative. I'm social. I like talking to people. And back then, I wanted even little white friends and Hispanic friends. And so it was like, I'm talking to everybody.
Mhm.
But when you give me so much like sass and rolling your eyes and when the heifer told me I should be King Kong, it was just, that was my first fight. I blacked out.
Oh.
Yeah. We was at recess and I remember saying, what should we play next? And she was like, I know, let's play King Kong. And you could be King Kong because you look just like him.
Oh.
And I woke up in the principal's office. I just, and then circle back. I mean, fast forward in college, I ran into her at Cal State Fullerton.
Really?
I didn't recognize her at first, but she was serving smoothies on one of the food trucks on campus. So she had a work study job because she was enrolled as well. She was like, oh my God, Talitha, is that you? And the blood started boiling because all I remember seeing and hearing was King Kong.
No, bitch, it's King
Right. And I'm 20 years old at this point.
Like, what?
And so do I got to climb the Empire State Building again?
Like, I'm going to give you what you've been looking for.
So I think my crash out, my short fuse comes from being tried
Yeah.
so much. Like I shared on previous episodes, I have older sisters. None of my older sisters ever fought any. It wasn't like, I'm going to go get my sister on you. I didn't have that luxury. So every battle I've had to fight literally, physically, and mentally and emotionally by myself.
Yeah.
So I know that's added to my short fuse, but I'm definitely working on it. And like you and Solomon, I want to have emotional intelligence and say, does this serve me? Will this really solve? But sometimes flipping a table of food over in someone's lap just gives me such satisfaction.
So we're going to go deeper.
Okay.
Because now I'm like, okay, I feel like the safest space is
Let's
right
go.
now.
Here in podcast place.
Right. And I was telling my sister this because I can say it now, but I also recognize the emotional part is why I'm slightly hesitant. Not because I don't have feelings. Aquarius people have feelings. Stop saying that. We just reserve them for the crash out. Okay. I'm on reserve right now.
Right.
So it was at least 2 years ago, 2 or 3, whatever, years ago, my ex, I had him go to my home. I was in Ghana, right? And I was like, go to the house and go check on Joshua because he got company over and he ain't supposed to be da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Because I could see on my ring cam. Well, he goes over there. Joshua being a grandma's boy because he's the first grandson. He calls my mom. My mama already don't like the ex, right? Cool now.
Yeah.
But she...
Mama probably saw some things too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So she didn't like him. And it was like the time was now. Joshua gave her the green light. Mimo, such and such came over here for whatever reasons, right? And Joshua put 10 on 20 real quick. Okay? Real quick. So my mom calls the ex. I'm in Ghana, 3 a.m. The ex calls me like, your mom just called me, going off on me. And he ain't going to respond like, because he's just not that person. Or I haven't experienced, I've never experienced that. But it caught me by surprise because first of all, that's my house, right? My house, my rules. And my son's back home in my house. It wasn't like he lived there.
Right.
He moved back to my house. So now I have to set the tone for my house, my rules. Well, the mom calls the ex. My ex calls me. I call my mom. And now I'm arguing with her like, don't ever.
From Africa.
From Africa, girl. I'm yelling. I'm on someone's compound and they can hear me. I'm going off. And, of course, she's responding to the energy I give. And there's no disrespect like me out, but I'm grown.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, just sidebar, one of the things that we're doing that's not a service to our community is we have a culture of protect our mom at all costs, which also means mom can get away with things. And that's not fair. right? I'll never disrespect my mom. I love her. I think she's phenomenal. And if I feel that it's getting to that point, there's no way I would be around her because I already know if it's getting to that point, it's not safe.
Right.
But what I won't do is disrespect her, but I will state my boundary because I have every right. I'm an adult, right? And you don't get to child me or treat me like a child. You don't have to parent me, right? You just be my mother. You don't have to parent me.
That's a good topic.
Yeah. So going back to, us going back and forth, what I heard in the dialogue to me was, well, if you're going to be stupid then, right? Now, here's the thing. It took me years to get to the point where I can say it wasn't personal. My mom don't believe that I'm stupid. Like, that's just not, I just know her too well. She don't believe that. It was the frustration talking. But it's like calling your child a bitch for the first time. That's something you don't forget. So I find myself uncomfortable in safe spaces where I can't have that. I find myself not being able to have the conversation about things that are very sacred to me because I don't deem it as a safe space until I'm ready to let it become that safe space to its entirety.
Yeah.
So I forgot what the question was, but it kind of veered into what I was saying, that for me, having that conversation with her allows me to be authentic, but I'm not able to have that conversation because I'm not ready to accept an apology.
Gotcha.
Because I'm still working on the fact that I don't believe I was stupid for staying in the relationship as long as I did. I truly understand now that it's what I needed to go through to get to where I am today. Because if any man had met me in my 30s to say, hey, girl, I love you, I want to marry you, let's have kids, they would have still gotten a kid ready to have babies, be married, and have kids and all this type of stuff. But I would not have known Nakia. So I still would have, prolonged my own personal healing that needed to happen away from a whole man. So I'm glad that I went through this because I'm so glad where I am today. But at the same time, looking back at it, I wasn't stupid. I was in love and I was doing what I believe was of value to a relationship. That's all.
That you were in.
Right.
Right.
So I know she would apologize. I know she don't mean it, but I'm just not ready to hear it because then the expectation next is I'm in a safe space again when I still feel like you're not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Not.
Yeah.
One thing, if I can offer one piece of advice that I was always taught, don't make it hard for people to apologize to you.
And I do.
See? Mm-hmm. And that's where our healing and our therapy still comes in handy because it's already hard enough to admit I was wrong. But then when the person is making it difficult for you to say that, then you're automatically going to be on guard as well. And the other thing to note what you said, the apology, once I'm ready to receive it, does not automatically give you back that access that you once had or give you back that title of my safe space.
Yeah.
Because no, you have apologized and I have finally accepted it, but there's steps to becoming the safe space. And be clear, you may never be my safe space again. Mm-hmm. And that does not take away from who you are. My mother, my sister, my friend, my child. Right. You may never be that. But that's good. And so when we talk about safe spaces, that definitely leads me into this next question. Is there a particular environment or situation where you feel more prone to crashing out?
Yes, it is outside of my home. Outside of my home could be in the street. It could be at a restaurant. It could be anywhere. It's just the people. If an environment doesn't feel safe, it doesn't look safe. Like I have never really been a concert person anyway because it's just too many people. And first thing I think is if they're gonna get black folk, get them at the concert. So I'm like,
I'm gearing up to go to 2 or 3 concerts in the next couple months. Don't
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. But I group environments make me uncomfortable, and I'm trying to find my balance in it now because I like being at home. Being at home is safe. Being at home is comfortable. Being at home allows me just to exist. However, the flip side to it is it's springtime. We're coming around the summer, and I only got a couple months before I get this hot girl body together. So, I got to get back outside because at home got me eating again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mine with current events is anywhere around the Watts.
Yeah.
And I don't mean all of them, because I do have some cool, people that are Caucasian, but I'm talking about the orange orangutan whites.
Yeah.
I'm talking about them farmers for Trump and all the people that are just like, I don't care about your diversity and with your basic privileges and rights. I don't care about, like, I cannot no longer be in those. I can no longer be in those spaces without feeling like I'm going to crash out.
Yeah. Yes. I can share that sentiment because being around white people in general in this moment that we're in, the first thing that I think is, whose side are you on?
Who's
like, I can't help it because now I'm looking at you and you're probably looking at me, and I'm not even being overly sensitive or cautious to me being in your way like I typically would, and not because you're white, but because I'm aware of my surroundings. So sometimes I'll say, "Oh, excuse me," and I wasn't even the one in the wrong. But I find myself, without even trying to, it's just like, I'm going to stand in your way. And if you don't say, excuse me, and if you touch me, I'm going to go off. So I'm not sure where I'm residing yet, but I know that I have those emotions every time I'm around that space.
Like you said, it's no longer excuse me. It's excuse you.
Yeah.
And I know they hate to see me coming because I don't budge. It's like I have cement or glue stuck to the bottom of my shoe because I'm not moving. And I want you to run into me. I want your shoulder to bump me. I want to feel your breath on my neck. Like, I want to feel just to give me a reason. Ooh,
my sister will dip. Like, literally, she dips. I'm like, okay, girl, dip then.
Right. Well, it sounds like that's her coping, right, to get through it. So that takes us to segment 3, solutions and coping mechanisms of a crash out. What coping strategies have helped you stay grounded in crash out situations, if any?
I've been partaking in the experiment of broccoli. Okay. And because I've experienced, I've been in my spirit of the broccoli, right? And because of that, I don't have the energy to crash out because I'm too busy. Like, what are we eating? What's for dinner?
Swinging.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ooh, I should have put them chicken on like 3 years ago because I'm hungry now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that and being at home and my music, I'm just now getting back into R&B music, right? But if it gets too much, I'll turn it off, put on affirmation music. I can't be too heavy in one thing right now because that energy is too much. And, I might have to crash out because I don't have a reason to cry about anything right now. And I thank God for that. But, I do have a reason to respond.
Yeah, no, facts. When you say positive affirmation music, for me, it for sure is my praise and worship playlist, my gospel playlist. Sometimes I need to take it back to the old church spirituals, the hymns. And then sometimes I need to be current. Even, it's funny, even listening to like Kirk Franklin Stomp now. I could be on the house just stomp. And I'm angry.
Me clap my hands.
Yeah, makes me want to dance. Stomp. But it's like I'm angry, but the stomping is helping get the energy out.
Like the Sister I sent you, one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
Just the song.
Joyful, Lord.
Yes. I was like, go Whippy.
So listening to that, and that is on my playlist, listening to that does help me bring me back down. I too will do my edibles, a hybrid mix where I'm not too high or too low. I'm like right in the middle. I am also on a medication. It's propranolol for all my doctor friends out there, but it's like a beta blocker. So it helps with blood pressure, headaches, mood swings, palpitations. It like covers a gamut of things all at once. So, you got to be heavily medicated, either on even on Earth supply, medicinal, like legit prescription supply, music supply, like something has to be your medicine.
Something. And the fact that sometimes, I'll say all the time, people of a certain financial class are often weaponized for whatever medicine they decide to take. So you mean to tell me, because I have to work 80 hours sometimes a week, right? That's double the shift of someone. 80 hours sometimes a week. And then I have to help with my community, make sure my bills are paid, manage my mental health. If I decide to do the broccoli, I'm on drugs. But you let someone go on stage and swing a chainsaw with his glasses on, he can't hold a whole sentence. He damn sure ain't the smartest man in the book. And when they ain't, what they ain't is not the best and the brightest, the Dumb and Dumber.
She
Okay,
crashed
the
out
Beavis
because
and
of that,
Butthead.
She crashed out.
The he had the fucking brain. You mean to tell me two incompetent white men deserve to run this country into the ground? Meanwhile, black women are continuing to build this country, even on the backs in our homes, because not only are we still in our homes building our businesses, we still out there running these effing businesses that these incompetent white men are taking credit for. They even got their daughter or granddaughter in Target right now talking about, I didn't know my grandfather and them would have done that to the company. Da, da, da. Who gives a damn, white lady? Y'all should have did that shit back when they said DEI was no longer in place. You incompetent white men. I'm gonna crash out right now.
Say, you're witnessing a crash out, ladies and gentlemen.
You incompetent. Like, there's nothing more, like, it makes me furious, but then I laugh at it because of how stupid they are. Them two incompetent trash administration people in the office are the dumbest of the dumbest. And yet, other dumbass white men hold them in such a high regard because they refuse to hold competent black women, competent black men, competent white women, other competent white men, competent Latin men, and competent Latin women, and Asian plus, all because they are that racist. Like, you are competent bastards. Like, I hope, and I say this and I mean this with everything, again, with my whole double D's, okay? I hope whatever God has lit for them, it follows their bloodline and curses the bloodline for years, decades, and centuries, because they need to have the red letter against their last names as if they were the hard ERs. I want the whole world to treat them like a hard ER. I want them to be the epitome of the word NIGGR with a hard ER, because they don't know what they are and who they are, but we do. But the world is about to show them who they are. Incompetent white ass men.
I feel like I need to give you a standing ovation, Riri. How about a round
You
of applause?
triggered me. I don't know what happened, but I was
don't
like,
know
no.
either. But you just witnessed the crash out live and in living color. But you're so facts. So we got this. Sometimes you can crash out and still have some sense about you and be competent and speak. Yeah, because the wig and Musty, Elon Musty and the wig, yeah, those two there are not the best and the brightest.
Oh my God, Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber. And the people that believe them are truly people that don't believe them. They are just so grounded in the fact that this belongs to me. You entitled, incompetent white men who've aligned themselves with mediocre ass white women who cannot be on their own. So they have to align with their mediocre, incompetent ass white husband in order to have some sustenance. That's why these white women be in these boards talking about, oh, I'm on top of the board. I do this.
Yeah.
Oh,
ain't doing nothing.
Ain't doing shit. Ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you who is. What was her name? The one that was married to Bill Gates? And
yes. Melinda.
Billions of dollars back.
HBCUs.
To HBCUs. And you can follow her money and see it.
Yes.
That is a competent white woman. But you guys got competent ass white men. And the only reason why your competent ass white man has a name for himself is because he aligned with the white supremacist. Period.
Period, poo.
Just saying.
Woo, my God.
Like,
so, listen.
This was Monday.
That was it. Because all I got left is, do you believe in walking away from situations? Or do you believe in walking away from situations? Or do you think facing them head on? I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Because similar to what you and Solomon said earlier, let me really realize what deserves my attention, what deserves this crash out. And sometimes I need to just walk away. But other times I need to face you head on and get you all the way together. Like how on social media, when you see these things, we respond to certain ones. If we responded to all of them, we for sure would be on a 51-50 hold. But knowing which ones to respond to, because you playing in our face and you got us all the way effed up, like, yeah. But then there's others, like you said, you guys are so dingbat, box of rocks, one brick short of a load, having ass people that even if I tried to explain it to you, you wouldn't get it anyway. So it's best that I just walk away.
Yes. Depending on situation, yes. But also what I'm paying attention to now is why do we continue to follow the rules when everyone else don't? But we always say, especially in the Black community, is we can't do what they can do. F-U-C-K that. We have to start doing what everybody else is doing. If they showing up ready to fight, then we showing up ready to fight. I'm not feeling comfortable in spaces anymore where I can't match your energy.
Right.
Because what I don't like hearing on the internet that I'm hearing more of is I'm scared. Especially when they're recording someone. Like they'll record someone just to get them to react or take the reaction. Say I'm Black and you're not. Right. And I know you're giving me what I want because you're doing it. But now I'm egging it on so you can keep going so I can get what I need for social media. Now I'm like, well, you're scaring me. Don't even do that.
Right.
Because I feel like that language only fuels the fact that they got something from you. And what they did is they got your time. If the shit ain't that important, put the phone away and go away.
Right.
Like, don't make every situation a creating moment because not only is that person a Black person in that space, when you post it, you bring us there too.
True.
And because you brought us there, we all are having to react. And right now, our assignment is to stay inside. Yeah. So if you take your ass out there and you happily participate in that type of violence and something happens to you, that could bring us outside, which can ultimately get us endangered by law enforcement. So I think we need to be more responsible with how we're capturing the bullshit too.
Yeah. And it's important to note that even within the 92%, everybody in there does not have it all clipped together too tight. Some of their wigs is hanging on by one thread. So yeah, we have to be mindful who we come outside for, who we show up for, who we rally around, who we ready. Because we're the ones showing up to a gunfight with a knife.
Yes.
And we need to understand that every situation does not require our presence, but it definitely doesn't require our energy.
Yeah.
Because I can be there and give you zero energy.
Yeah.
You know, so Yeah. Woo, y'all. So, crashing out hoe tips. Okay. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from a crash out? And what advice can you give to someone who's on the verge of a crash out?
The biggest lesson I learned from a crash out would be did I reflect? Because I may not be able to reflect in the moment, but I can reflect after. Did I observe, first and foremost? Because if I observed, I wouldn't participate. But if I observed, participated, now I got to reflect. So my biggest lesson I learned is, what did I learn from it? Because if I participated, there was a reason. But what did I learn from that? Because I don't want to put myself in harm's way. I don't like violence. I think violence is unnecessary. But if I have to be violent, I will. But the lesson I learned is why? Why am I being violent? Because I don't want to apologize for something that I meant.
And then what advice can you give to someone who's on the verge of one?
Crash the fuck out. Shit. Crash out. Stop reserving yourself. Stop telling yourself, no, I'm better than. Look around you. They're not better than. And they're showing you that. And that's what pisses me off. I'm going to stop here. Pissing me off about these Democrat people in office, except for AOC and Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett, baby. So roar.
Okay. She need her own hairline.
We claiming her too here at GGH. Sis. Soror. Come on down here. Podcast place. We need you.
Please.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going to tag her.
We keep doing things the same way. And we don't have enough of people enough of women like them. So the advice that I would give them is align yourself with women like them. Align yourself with Jasmine Crockett's in the community. Align yourself with AOC's in the community, because they're going to push you in the right direction of your crash out versus the one that you find on your phone.
Align yourself with Nakia's, friend. Okay. Align yourself with the Nakia, because don't skip over you. Okay. You are just as magical. Sprinkle. That's crazy. So we haven't even talked about this whole tip, but you literally verbatim kind of gave where I was going with mine. So the biggest lesson I've learned from a crash out is the actual crash out itself. What did I learn from that? What did I gain from that? What did I lose from that? Was it an opportunity that I lost because I done cussed and fussed and went off? Did I break something of value that I cannot repair? Like, what did I learn from the crash out is what I learned from the crash out. You know, reflecting and finding my way back to a sane space and realizing, okay, all of that was not necessary to get me to just get this particular lesson. So is there another way I could have learned it, right? And then advice for a person on the verge, I was definitely going to say, you have to do it because all that pent up and built up energy, negative especially, is only killing you more on the inside. So you have to let it out. Yeah. Maybe you don't have to crash out and go knock on people's windows or flip tables over, right? And put food in people's lap. Maybe that's not how you have to crash out. But whatever you're feeling, you have to get that out. Yeah. Because you are going to be a danger to yourself and possibly others if you allow that to fester. Because it'll manifest and it will come out. It will come out. Yeah. In some way or another. Yeah. So definitely get it out. But then get your ass in therapy. Quit being on social media just crying for the camera. I'm so tired of looking at y'all with all these tears. Now, if you're on there talking and it just happens, that's different. But you purposefully sitting there recording yourself.
Shayla, right. My darling Shayla. No shade. Sorry, Tyrese, but that's what happened.
That's what I'm saying, yes. Those type of people jam my Glock because go get you some help and get that phone out your face. So crash out, but then find out what was it that triggered you. Yeah. Get you a journal, write it down, and then get you a friend. Get you a grow, glow, and whole friend that you can call that will not only allow you to get through your crash out, but will help rebuild you when you're down on the ground.
Yeah.
Friend, we have crashed out. It's just one of them days, y'all, but it's a good day. Yeah. It's a good day for a crash out. Yeah. So watch this, crash out, do what you got to do, but stay safe.
Yeah, I like that.
Stay safe. And remember to like, share, subscribe.
Please and thank you.
Grow, glow, and hoe. Heal over everything podcast.
Please and thank you.
Till next time, stay hoeing.
Heal.
We love you.